So we've started streaming. I'm gonna see if I can figure out where on YouTube. Okay, so YouTube is telling me that it should be starting. I'm curious as to what the comments are gonna be on this because I have no idea. But we are live streaming. I don't know if the live stream has any name or anything. It's a different live stream than it was supposed to be, but hopefully.
All right, we're on a different live stream.
Yes, it's okay. It be like that sometimes. I'm gonna see if I can change the name. I'm gonna see if in changing the name that helps, and then tweeting it out. But happy birthday! Thank you for coming on to my channel. I hope that
Thank you so much for inviting me, and thank you for the birthday wishes.
I hope that you're having a good birthday. I know that this definitely wasn't how you anticipated spending your birthday, but I'm glad that you're here.
Yeah, no, this is my birthday has been great. Thank you.
So, why don't you... So, a lot of people from my audience already know you, but for those of you who are new, and for members of the fam squad who are new, why don't you introduce yourself?
So I am Jamie. I am a software engineer. I am currently nearly done with, I should be by the end of the summer, done with my certification, my license to practice in mental health. I am a non-binary trans person and a leftist activist. Did I already say that? Anyway, I am Ace, and I am here to talk about, well, so for my birthday, but anyway, yeah, that is who I am. You can call me Jamie, you can call me Jam.
Well, if you are brand new to my channel, because I recently got a good number of new subscribers because I started tweeting again. I've been moving for the last couple of weeks, and the area that you can see in the background is my new apartment. I had to run around and try to clean it up a little bit before the stream because I wasn't sure if we were going to be streaming today. I'm super excited that we're here now, especially because we're streaming through OBS, which is a big learning experience for me. I have always been scared of OBS because I have no idea how OBS works. And I feel like there are a lot of YouTubers who feel the same way that I do, but don't really say it. Whereas I'm someone who honesty is kind of one of my big things. I'll say things even if they show how much of a dummy I am. Because when it comes to technology, if someone's like, hey, you're a dummy, to me, I'd be like, yeah, you're right.
Oh my gosh, that is endearing.
I mean, no, if you wanted to say it's sad, that's fair.
No, it's endearing. Yeah.
It can be a little bit of both.
Yeah, it can totally be both.
I remember I actually did my first ever live stream on my channel. Not actually my first live stream ever on my channel that had more than one person, but I did my first intentional live stream that started off with more than one person in November of last year. And I was so excited when it happened, even though it was literally me going on Google Hangouts, me getting the link, and then me sharing the link with the other person. But the fact that both of us were on the stream at the same time was super exciting for me. I'd always wanted to do one of those streams.
Yeah, that is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was I'm going through. I gave so many people the wrong link, and I am now going through and giving the link to this stream to people.
I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I'm kind of looking at the background. I feel like it's a little bit, because you can see me, it's probably a little bit more distracting, but I'm doing the same thing right now. I'm tweeting it out, so that's fun, because we wanted to see how this was gonna work. Jamie knew how it was gonna work, but I didn't, and we decided that today would be a good day to experiment with OBS. Birthdays are always great days for experimentation, and we decided to just try and sort of test it out, and it's going well. My computer's holding steady. This is the first little bit of strenuous usage of it that I'm doing since I've moved, because I literally moved yesterday. I moved into my new place yesterday, and I went to campus today because, for those of you who don't know, I'm a graduate student over at my university. I accepted a job there a couple of weeks ago, and then I moved yesterday. So now I'm back in North Carolina, which is super exciting. And I'm getting used to being here again because I lived in DC for the last year. And living in DC is very different than living in North Carolina, obviously. DC is kind of a whole different monster.
I mean, like, DC is like DC. Like, it's like... DC is a whole different monster from, like, a lot of places.
Oh, cool. People are here. Oh, that's exciting.
Nice. Yes.
Yeah, so I had to retweet out the link, and I'm super excited that it worked. I just popped back in, and there are people in the chat. I'm super excited that people are here, that we're all celebrating your birthday together. That, like, I know for my birthday this is probably what I'm going to be doing, but I'm one of those people whose, like, internet pals are real pals. And if I'm spending time with my internet friends, that's just as good as spending time with offline friends. And I feel like for a lot of people, that's like a really odd concept.
Hey, just like, this is like horrible timing, but like, this is so late. But are my levels good? Are they too high?
I can hear you. Your levels are coming through good on my end.
Cool. And anybody in chat, I can see what y'all are saying. So feel free to let me know if, like, we're horribly mismatched.
I'll see what I can do if it comes to that. But if it comes to that, I honestly don't know what I'll be able to do. I don't know how to edit that.
I can do things on my end, so that should be good enough. True.
Yeah.
But speaking of chat, thank you so much to Musfusi. I'm not sure how to say your name, but thank you so much for the birthday wish.
I'm super excited that other people are here celebrating your birthday with us. I was super excited to suggest this, but when I suggested this, when you and I were chatting about it before, I was still in DC. And these last 2 days, I arrived in Greensboro on Wednesday. And when I arrived in Greensboro, I stayed at a hotel for a night. But then, like, my actual move was super crazy. I'm going to get used to trying to text people more often, but people who know me well know that I'm not good at texting people. That's a thing that I'm very bad at. Whether it's Callan or it's you or it's Anna or it's Wonder Lady, I leave people waiting, and I'm not happy about it. It'd be like that.
Yeah, no, it's all good. I maybe noticed a little, but it's all good. You're good.
Something that I'm super not happy about is that for some reason, when I click on the YouTube window, there's like a big glare in my face. And it's not, like, it's only when I'm on the YouTube window. So when I'm, like, looking at the chat is when I see it. But for some reason, I think it's, like, the brightness of, it's the brightness of my monitor.
You don't watch in dark mode.
Well, I use dark mode for my eyes because my eyes aren't good.
Oh, that's really weird. I don't know.
But yeah, you can tell what sort of lighting the background is, and I think it's partially because of my lighting. My lighting has always been probably my biggest and most consistent weakness as a YouTuber. At the very least, when I'm like consistently uploading YouTube. Consistently uploading YouTube, the website. When I'm consistently uploading videos, my biggest weakness as a YouTuber has always been like my lighting. I've always had really terrible lighting.
Yeah, I feel like if you put a bright light like right next to your monitor that just drowns out whatever color that is, that would be a solution. That would also be like very warm and maybe experiment with that not in this.
I think I am gonna try to do more YouTube stuff. I'm already working on a video. I'm super excited that I didn't have to do other live streams today. I think tomorrow, some of the D&D peeps are going to be doing Lost Minds of Phandelver, which is super exciting. I definitely love my little barbarian dragonborn boy, but we're nearing the end of that campaign, which is part of the reason why some of the people from that campaign carried over and started doing Curse of Strand, which we almost live streamed today. And if we had been live streaming today,
Curse of Strahd.
Curse of Strahd. Is that how it's supposed
It's
to be
very
said?
similar, but yeah, no, it's that's an H, not an S.
My eyes aren't good, and I'm doing my best.
Yeah, no worries.
So, what are your birthday wishes, Jamie?
My birthday wishes.
Yeah.
Communism. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Can we do a communism for my birthday?
I'm glad that your birthday wishes aren't to do with racism. I know a lot of people whose birthday wishes would be to do with racism. So
Yeah, it'd be super cool if we could do an unracist communism.
Well, and not even a communism. There are lots of capitalists out there who just wish that they could do a racism on their birthday. That would be like
Right, but I mean specifically, now that you mention it, can we also make the communism not a racist one?
that would be tight. I think that would be
Hey,
the best
Lexi.
kind. I think that would be the best type of birthday wish, a communism.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're gonna get on this, right? We're gonna get on communisming.
That's right. All it took was a birthday wish.
Awesome. Just a birthday wish and maybe like a couple Santa letters over the years.
Well, I mean, have you been a good person? Because, Santa only gives you what you want if you're a good person.
Santa gives you what you want if you convince him to call you a good girl.
Well, I mean, apparently you've done that successfully since Santa's going to give you what you want. So that's good.
Awesome. Santa's gonna give me whatever I ask for.
Yep. I like how Lex over there, Lex Hart, was saying something that I was thinking of. I was just like, man, how do you gift wrap communism? But apparently Lex is like all on that right there. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, Lexi. I appreciate the gift of communism from Walmart.
I mean, we probably shouldn't have told you that we were going to get you what you wanted. We probably should have kept you guessing until you unwrapped it. But you know what? You're special. We'll give it to you, and we'll just let you know ahead of time. Now you can be super excited.
I am super excited. Yes, I'm very excited to end the capitalisming.
I can't believe that, like, all we really needed was a birthday wish and just a couple of years of good karma. Like, I feel like that's really telling about the people who've led what they call communism and the people who've led communistic revolutions. Since they didn't work, I guess they didn't have the good karma.
Well, I don't know. Like, they're like, look at Chiapas. Chiapas is what happens when birthday wishes are what lead your communist revolution. Chiapas and Rojava.
I don't know. I know a little bit about the Chiapas one. I don't know about the other one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get into like an anarchisming stream?
Okay, someone was commenting about wanting to do. Okay, it was also Lexi who was commenting about it being Anson.
Oh, cool. So we're just gonna get right into like the depths of theory then. Cool. This will be
I don't know
a nice 101.
You know what? It's your birthday. Let's make it a 101. Let's do it.
Let's do a 101 for what, anarchism or anarcho-syndicalism or like I don't even like I'm so deep in this stuff. I don't even know what 101 means anymore.
Explain it. I feel like explaining it to you, a 5-year-old's kind of condescending. Although that's one of my favorite subreddits. I'm on Reddit a lot, and
I can explain it like I'm explaining it to a capitalist.
You know what? Go for it. Let's do it that way.
So I'm sorry, Lexi just said to explain market and anarcho-syndicalism, and that is upsetting me. But yeah, so anarchism is the idea of organizing your society not through violence and not through like threats of harm and torture and isolation and death, but organizing your culture through like values like consent and mutual aid, and basically just like making sure shit doesn't go to like hell.
I'm down for that. I think that that's super cool. It sounds like that sort of an explanation makes it sound like if humanists led a government that was just based on humanism, which I would be super down for. I think that'd be neat.
Smitty made what would be an excellent critique if anarchists believed that the corporations should be given access to violence that would allow them to enforce their authority upon that river that they're discussing polluting in. But fortunately, anarchism would not allow would not allow corporations to be able to organize in such an oppressive way. Specifically, anarcho-syndicalism is a structure under which industries organize as laborers and essentially function as democratic organizations that make decisions for themselves instead of having, profits be what make the decisions that drive their labor.
Nice. I had a conversation about post-capitalistic theory with Godless Epicurean / Chrismer a while back. I don't know if that's still on my channel, but I'm pretty sure it is. But it's like, oh man, it's like from last year. It was one of the first conversations I had with someone else. Dang, I'd have to see if I could find it. But we talked about Anson a little bit, and I want to see if I could have Callan on my channel in the nearish future to talk about like political theories as well, because Callan's super into that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I think Callan. I trust that he, they. I don't know what they're going with today, but so Callan, I'm pretty sure is knowledgeable on anarcho-syndicalism, but Callan is an anarcho-communist.
Yeah. I haven't had like a super thick conversation with Callan.
Is it she, they?
Those are the
Jonathan?
ones that I most commonly see them use. She, they, yeah.
Yeah, totally. She, gotcha. I'm pretty.
I hope that you.
I don't know why, but I misremembered that they had asked me to use other pronouns at some point. So I might have misgendered you there, Callan. I'm sorry.
Hey, Ayla. I hope I pronounced that correctly. I've never seen that name spelled that way before. That's neat.
Hey, Ayla.
There are some new people in the stream, and there's also like it's been so long since I've streamed on my channel. I was on...
Yeah, it's been like obnoxiously. God, you did. Sorry. It's been obnoxiously long for you to.
Well, I feel like in my defense, I'm also Hispanic, and I have a really weird to pronounce name too. A lot of people see my name and they pronounce it Luciano, which is like, I guess that's the way that it's like spelled, but the actual way it's supposed to be pronounced is there's supposed to be like a CH sound, so it's supposed to be Luciano, not Luciano.
Yeah, so when you see me abbreviating it as Lucci, it's Lucci.
Mm-hmm. Also, I want to let you know that sometimes I almost misspell your name in our chats because I'm used to seeing your name spelled slightly differently.
Oh yeah, no. So just for the record, my name is validly spelled both ways.
Okay. Cool.
Am I getting your name right? It's Ayla, right? Or is it Ayla?
Well, my name, I'm going to say this to Lexi. My name is Italian. I'm Hispanic, but my family is Italian if you go back far enough. So that's the reason why it's pronounced that way. I'm glad that we're both pronouncing Ayla's name correctly. That's neat.
Yeah, cool.
If people are new and they want to say hi, because there's some people who are new and then there's some people who just like never there's some people who are just like never able to come in the live streams. I normally don't live stream at this time. It's just that today I was like on campus and doing stuff, and this was actually the earliest I was able to live stream. And then we were supposed to be live streaming earlier, but it's my comments distracted my brain for some reason. I'm doing like 3 different things. I'm sharing out the link to this chat, and I'm also like reading the comments, so that's distracting and not always the smartest thing to do. But I am a scatterbrained boy right now, apparently.
I mean, who is not scatterbrained in today's days, right?
There's always so much stuff going on. And also, hey, some random geek, it's nice to see you. I want to chat more with people. There are a lot of people in my community that I want to chat more with and that I want to have like on my channel. I'm super excited that you were able to come on my channel because this is the first time you've been like in a live stream with me, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think this is the first time I've been on YouTube. Just like,
oh wow, really?
yeah, I think this is the first time a lot of people are hearing my voice.
Well, I'm happy that you chose me to pop your YouTube cherry, so to speak.
Oh my.
It's very, I feel like I worded that in like the crudest way I possibly could have while still being fairly PG.
Yeah, I'm not sure you managed fairly PG, but I appreciate the attempt.
I like Lexi's comment. The I've always heard people say that ooh woo.
Oh yeah. Oh whoa.
Oh whoa. But yeah. So if you don't mind sharing, what else have you been doing for your birthday?
What else I've been doing? Mostly just kind of chilling out. I had a wonderful meal with my family for my birthday. And I was I received some wonderful and exciting gifts, like a video game, for instance.
Nice.
That I'm very excited to eventually play.
Did you get like a Switch game?
I did. I got Breath of the Wild.
Oh, you got Breath. That is such a good first game. That's an amazing first game. My first game, I don't think it was Breath of the Wild. I have Breath of the Wild now, and it wasn't Super Mario Odyssey either. It was something else. Oh, it was Hyrule Warriors. That's what it was. That was a good game. I'm a big fan.
That game looks really fun. But I feel like it would get like really grindy really fast.
You are correct in that. I mean, it's not quite as grindy as like Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. I actually got my Switch.
Is that a grindy game?
Well, if you unlock the characters through like the World of Light, yeah, it's kind of grindy. Especially because like,
oh yeah, that makes sense.
There's really weird like difficulty spikes that are like, in some cases you can see them because like World of Light takes place in like a little map that you like walk around in. And if you know video games well, you can predict where the spikes are based off of the spirits you're about to fight. But like there's a fight where you got to fight against a giant Zelda, and she's like the great fairy spirit, and that fight is almost impossible. It's ridiculously hard. And like the fights around it are all super easy. So like you're at the edge of the map, and then all of a sudden there's the great fairy spirit, and boom, you're just getting annihilated.
What makes it so difficult?
So the way that it works with like the World of Light, if you, I'm not really spoiling
I've played the World of Light, so I don't know if you're explaining for me or for the chat.
I'm explaining for other people because like.
Cool.
I used to be a much more gamey person than I am now. I still game a decent amount. Like I was playing on my Nintendo Switch earlier today, but I don't like spend as much time as I used to. So the way that it works with like World of Light, and the thing that makes it kind of like grindy, is that you have to fight to level up your spirits. And as you level up your spirits, the sort of ambient boosts that you get to like your attack strength and stuff gradually increases. But the main reason you want to like upgrade your spirits is because some of them can rank up. And when they, I guess, rank up, I think that's what they called it in the game. I haven't looked at World of Light in a while. But when they rank up, they become like newer spirits that have like way stronger boosts. And that's the thing that makes some of the difficulty spikes a little bit more manageable. Also, if you are like really good, you can win without the spirits, but the game very clearly wants you to use the spirits. At the very least, World of Light does.
I guess that makes sense. I like to think I'm kind of good at Smash Brothers. I won like impromptu-ish, like not really impromptu, but it was a small scale little like nothing tournament that I just kind of walked into.
Nice.
But that was back on like Brawl. But if anybody has seen my bacon and eggs backpack, that is where that came from. That was the prize was that backpack with the game in it.
Nice. I'm trying to think of like if there are any video games that I'm like really, really good at. One of the only games I can think of is Fantasy Life, which was this fairly popular game for the 3DS that came out a couple of years ago. And the whole premise is that like you are one person, but you can pick from I think 8 different classes, and 4 of them are fighting, 4 of them are crafting, and then 4 of them are like gathering. And the skills that you gain in each of the classes carries over because you're playing one character. But like in order to actually beat the game, you have to master all 8 classes. And that is probably my favorite video game of all time. I've sunk more than 7,000 hours into that game. Like a comical amount of time.
That's actually really cool. That system sounds really awesome.
I really like it because I'm one of those people that like I wish more games didn't make you have to fight and kill everything. I definitely don't mind fighting and killing things if there's interesting ways to go about it, but most of the time there isn't. So
yeah, no, that is kind of a problem with just like a lot of genres of games, like the whole genre, you know.
I am kind of curious. I see that comment. I'm curious about what happens to Team Fortress 2 hat economy. I saw some tweets about it, but I don't play Team Fortress 2. I've heard from some people that I probably would like it, but I'm not like a fan. The most Team Fortress 2 thing that I do is that I watch Uncle Dane, who is a very popular Team Fortress 2 YouTuber who makes videos about playing as an engineer. I think he's probably the most popular, or at the very least the most famous engineer player in the world, even if he's not the best. But that's just because I like building things, so I like the engineer.
Yeah, the engineer is a great support class. Whenever I've played Team Fortress 2, that is usually my go-to. That or the sniper, because I guess I just don't like being near people.
I mean, that's fair.
I'm not hugely into games like that though. I don't really like there are a few games like that I really want to like. Mm-hmm. Like I really, really want to like Overwatch, but every time I go to play it, it is so like frustrating to like, because you always either end up with a bunch of people who know how to play the game before like better than you, mm-hmm. Or you're at a point where you know how to play the game really well, and you are like in any of these like team-based multiplayer games, or you're with a bunch of people who don't know how to play the game as well as you. And both of them are very frustrating situations to be in. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it feels like the kind of thing that you'd have to do is how like the esports scene works, where you're working with people you know, and that you play with, and that know how you play, and that you know how they play against people who know each other and know how each other play, like, for it to even be like fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I really like a lot of games that are online. Like I love MMORPGs, those ones. I'm not a tech person. I'm also not a big game person anymore. So if someone comes up to me and is like, "Are you a real gamer? What's your like newest game?" I'm gonna give them an answer that would like upset them. My newest game is almost certainly something for the Switch. Probably Super Smash Bros. Ultimate in terms of like newest game since release. But I really like World of Warcraft, for example. But I hate that it's online. If I could just play World of Warcraft, like, and I know that there are people who can do this, but I don't know technology. But if I could play like World of Warcraft where I was the only player character, or if I had like a closed server where I could like invite people, I would be willing to put down the money to invest in World of Warcraft, because that would make the game a lot more fun.
I will teach you if you want how to set up a server emulator for World of Warcraft.
I know that you're such a tech person, and I'm deeply jealous of those skills because I do so many things on technology, but like if someone comes up to me and is like, "Do you have any idea what you're doing?" The answer would be no. I don't.
There are like between me and chat, I can guarantee you there are like 3 engineers. So,
Wow.
yeah, it's just like whine about it and somebody will fix things for you. It's fine. You're good.
I want to make money and I want to support the people who assist me with my technological endeavors, especially because I'm working with some people on like doing like production stuff. I have a podcast and I still need to upload the first episode, but the first episode is up and it's recorded. It's not up. It's recorded and it's been edited. And it's about millennials and stuff. And because of the move, I haven't had time to actually sit down and like upload it to our website. But it's called the Millennial Project Podcast, and it's by millennials for millennials, and it's just really neat. I had a lot of fun with the first episode. I have a super awesome co-host. I'm doing all the tech stuff, which means all the tech stuff is proceeding at a very slow rate.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, you told me about that project, what was like a month ago.
Yeah.
And that's pretty exciting. Yeah. It's a bunch of aging people talking about aging people cold. And yes, Ayla, you are welcome to watch the millennials millennialing.
Watching the millennials millennialing is always an interesting experience, and I can say that as a millennial. Like, it's fascinating to see what sort of shenanigans we get up to just as a generation.
Yeah, we are generationally. I don't know. There's this like weird thing where simultaneously, people constantly talk about how bad millennials are. Those same people don't know like what age millennials are, and then like millennials still do weird, stupid, like that. I apologize. Mm-hmm. Still do strange and like horrible things all the time as a like generational culture, but like that's not the stuff we ever get any like called out for.
Yeah, like I feel like it's really weird to see us getting blamed for, and like I've pulled up actual examples to illustrate my point. Killing diamonds, engagement rings, and I think bed and breakfasts. I feel like that last one, I'm just like, I don't know if we're killing that one. Is Airbnb, does that classify as killing bed and breakfasts? I mean, probably. But
we're killing the like housing market.
We're just crushing
apparently
it,
we're too busy eating bread with avocado.
Or avocado. Leave my avocado toast alone. It's too pure for this.
I love avocado toast. That stuff is delicious. So I'm not like judging anybody, but it's just like, what? Why is that like a thing that people concern themselves?
something that I'm gonna change this, and I'm gonna change the topic slightly. I'm just gonna mention this as a tangent. I hope that people are not about to start complaining about this again, because people are gonna notice that I'm looking really short in this, and the reason why is that my chair. So when I first started making YouTube videos, I was living in Greensboro, and when I was first doing live streams, I was doing them from my old apartment, and I have the exact same chair that I have now. The chair is kind of busted, and it's like short, so I always look really short in the live streams, and that's different from my other live streams when I was in DC, because I always managed to be like right in the center, and now I have to like sit up straight and not relax if I want to be like even close to the middle of the frame. So that's gonna be a fun thing for people to get used to again. I remember back in the olden days when I had like 80 subscribers, there were people who would complain and be like, "Hey, why do you look so small?" And I'm like, "Well, it's because I'm short." And also, yes, I am. Greensboro, North Carolina. I work for UNCG, University of North Carolina, Greensboro.
And I hope that you see Ayla is a professional engineer, regardless of what qualifiers she is putting on that. But yeah, she's insisting that she can, suggesting that she can help you out if you just let with tech stuff.
So what it is with tech stuff is that like I want to be able to pay people. There are multiple people who've asked, and I'm just like, no, I want to pay you for your labor. I don't want people doing stuff for free if I can help it. And
I'm not giving you my PayPal.
Why though? I just want to be able to compensate people for the time they spend helping me not be a tech dumbass. Like when people are just like, you have no idea what tech is. I'm like, you're right. That's just a true criticism.
Yeah, so I mean, we could talk about that if you really insist on it, but like, you better not be giving me like actual amounts of money for it.
Well, like eventually, I want to be in a place where I can create content and make a living for myself and actually be able to compensate others for their assistance.
You want to be a capitalist? Did you just say you want to be a capitalist?
I want to be able to help people survive in a capitalistic economy.
That's valid.
I'm not about to go out of my way to be a capitalist stan or whatever, but I'm just like, we need money to survive in the current state of the world. So I want to make sure that if people are giving me their time and energy, I'm actually compensating them fairly, because I want people to be able to pay their rent. I also want to run for office, so
yeah. Cool. So you're a reformationist who desires to be a capitalist, is what you're saying.
I feel like
I am teasing you.
I'm well
Please
aware.
Don't take that seriously.
I am aware. I always like it when people put air quotes around the word professional. I appreciate you.
Ayla, you are a professional. Stop this.
I have a feeling that Ayla followed me on Twitter, because there are people who followed me on Twitter from a thread I was in. And the first time I ever started seeing some people that I'm seeing now was through that thread. So I'm just like, I know some people are new to my channel. I don't know who is and who isn't.
Ayla is a friend of mine. I don't know if she knew you before I sent her the link to this, but I do know that it's very possible that that's how she met.
About between a reformationist and a reformist. Beautiful.
There is not. Luciano is definitely about both of those things, which are the same.
Honestly, I don't know enough about theory to be able to complain intelligently about people's labels, whatever label they put on me. As long as
Ayla does, apparently.
As long as they're not calling me like a fascist. And no one's ever called me a fascist. And I'm just like,
Do you sympathize with Nazis?
No,
Because that
I
usually
don't.
gets people. That's usually what it is. It's either sympathizing with Nazis or like advocating for fascism or like advocating for genocide or things like that. That's usually what gets people called Nazis.
I've never done any of those things. I like not even remotely. And I used to be a conservative when I was younger. When I was like not quite a kid, but not like an adult. When I was like a teenager, I was somewhat conservative. I was never super conservative, but this was also back when I was a theist. And when
Is that where your desire to become a capitalist labor exploiter comes from?
I mean, I feel like it's not really. I know you're teasing, but like, I feel like it's not really exploiting people if you're paying for their labor.
Oh, well, I mean, um, technically, in this circumstance, I think because they'd be doing the work anyway, and you're just like, cool, let me do what I can to like support you for doing this. That might not be exploitative, but you know, like almost in any case,
Mm-hmm.
when you are when you are in a relationship with somebody where they are financially dependent on you,
Yeah.
like you know any employee, or any like contract job or anything like that, and they're kind of being forced to do work for you, and you are like I said, you paying them isn't exactly the problem. The problem is that they are contributing to your own profits despite not sharing equally in them.
I understand that. I would like
Yeah.
I would like to try to do what I could to create something that's fair and that gives people not necessarily like a percentage based off of their labor, but something that prioritizes people's ability to survive as opposed to being like you only deserve this amount of money because you put in this little work. I dislike that. That's like I'm not someone who can articulate these ideas very well because like my whole thing is peace and conflict. I'm not someone who's like, yeah, political theory. That's not where I am in terms of like my activism.
Yeah, like where I always go with activism, speaking of, is like I always and people constantly are asking me because they're like, "Oh, you're like an anarchist activist. How do I get started in anarchism?" And like the first place they go is like, "How do I violently overthrow the state?" And it's like, I mean, we got to put systems in place first. Like we have to be working on our own culture and our own society, and sometimes activism is literally just making a point to let people know how things hurt people.
Yeah.
Making a point not to hurt people is part of activism. Making a point to like go out of your way to help compensate for like poverty, or like helping out at a women's shelter, or anything like that. That's like, yes, just like Chris said, a lot of activism is writing letters. Um, and yeah, it's hard work, but it's good work, and it's rewarding in its own way, in ways that are not financial. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I really like hearing these sorts of like explanations, and I feel like a lot of people need to hear these sorts of explanations, like the simplest stuff, because these ideas are not unpopular, but because of the ways they're communicated and because of the ways that the media is controlled, and like whose voices are actually allowed to go through and whose voices are allowed to be heard, like people don't know that much about this unless they get involved themselves.
Yeah, I think a lot of the times, like a lot of people do anarchist activism, and they just don't realize that they're the ideas that they are promoting are anarchist, because there's this idea that anarchism is literally just chaos, but as political views. But yeah, so like a lot of anarchist activism is literally just like go to your soup kitchen and make sure that people who are people and matter, just because they are people and matter, get food.
I feel like that's it's really sad that there are going to be people who hear those sorts of ideas and they're going to think that that's radical, that like, and especially living in the United States, I this is something that you see a whole lot of if you do something which is incredibly mentally unhealthy and you pay attention to like political news and you listen to political commentary. I do, and it is Jesus Christ. It's like it's ridiculous to hear the sorts of things that people say. I remember when AOC, for instance, was first advocating for the Green New Deal and was first talking about it. There were a lot of people who were harping on and on about this idea that we shouldn't feed people who don't want to work. And that is the most insane thing that I've ever heard. Like, I don't understand why it is that it's wild to want to feed people just because people are alive and deserve to not die of starvation. I don't understand why that's like a wild idea to some people. That is, it's almost unthinkably cruel to me. I genuinely don't understand how people can think stuff like that and be like, yeah, feeding people who can't afford food otherwise, helping people who might not be able to afford to have a house, letting them not be homeless and letting them live with dignity is a wild idea or something. That's just weird.
And I mean, that is a foundational part of post-capitalist ideas, is just like, you're a person and you matter, and I'm going to treat you like it.
I wish that more people thought like that, and I'm very excited to see that there are lots of people who do, because when I first stopped being a conservative and when I first started learning about like different kinds of leftist ideas, and I'm not talking about like Democrats. Ugh. I'm a member of the Democratic Party, and even I like laugh at the idea that Democrats are members of the left. But like actual
those poor politicians.
But like actual leftist ideas. When I first started learning about them, I was like, oh, that's so exciting to think that like there are people who care about people and who want them to not die and who want people to be able to have a decent standard of living even when people aren't working, even people who don't want to work, or people whose the jobs that they like are respectable jobs that we need, like cashiers. But because those jobs pay so little, those people aren't able to afford to live. Apparently thinking that they deserve to be able to make a decent living is a wild idea in America.
Yeah, and I mean, like, also, if you start looking at some of these things under a post-capitalist lens, that's not work that needs to be done. That's the work of people whose job it is to make sure that somebody else makes money. Somebody that profits are being turned. You know what I
mean? Yeah. So Chris just asked if I saw Destiny's stream/video where he complained about online politics. A friend of mine actually tagged me in a thread with that video, and I haven't had a chance to see it because I was preparing the move, but I know that's a thing that exists. From what I've heard, I'm inclined to say that I'm probably not gonna like it. I don't know if that's true, but the complaints that I saw people having about it made me think that I'm probably gonna disagree with whatever was said, but I haven't seen it, so I'm not gonna pretend that I have.
Yeah, and I also have not seen this stream, so I would not be able to comment on this any more so than...
I can, if you are interested in it later on, I can send you the thing that I saw. But a friend of mine who knows me through like online relative left activism, because I'm not like, I know very little about leftism online. I just know that I am some sort of leftist who is online. I don't have a label for the sort of political theory I believe in because I know very little about political theory, and I'm working on changing that. But that's...
I mean, honestly, like, not labeling yourself before you know what your label is helps in some ways for some people. Like, I've seen people who claim to be anarcho-syndicalists but are advocating for market-based economics at the same time. And it's like, you're literally advocating for capitalism just under a different structure. So that is not a syndicalist or an anarchist structure. Like, yeah. And that what ends up happening is, if people start seeing takes like that, it confuses them on what anarchism is, first of all, or what anarcho-syndicalism in this like example is. And it puts people in a situation where it is that they hear this term, they see this person, and they're like, oh, like, as an anarchist, so much of the time I see people who have not great takes, and they're like, oh, I'm an anarchist. And they're using that to be like, so you have no authority. I don't respect your authority, basically, to tell me, to call me out, or to let me know, or to tell me that I did something bad or hurtful to someone. And so I just don't have to care. And that's like a whole thing. And that is literally how anarchism works, is people holding each other accountable, people organizing on a horizontal level where you're an equal to me. So when you treat me poorly, or when I see you treating someone else poorly, I hold you accountable to that. I tell you, look, you did something wrong. You need to be better. And that's just like the exact opposite. And again, I've seen the exact same thing with like people advocating straight up for capitalism and advocating for like all of these completely the opposite of anarchism concepts. And then I talk to a person who's like, I'm not into anarchism because I want there to be some way that we organize society. And it's like, well, we have those. It's just the opposite of what some people use anarchism to describe their own beliefs as.
I've heard, like, I know very little about anarchism, and I'm someone where when I know very little about things, and I know very little about them, I don't claim any expertise. And I feel like when it comes to anarchism, a lot of people are the opposite. For some reason, people think that they have an understanding of anarchism, and then even from what little I know about anarchism, I hear them talk about it. I'm like, I'm pretty sure you and the person you're talking to are talking about different things.
Right. Anarchism, believe it or not, I'm not up for just going out and shooting whatever people you disagree with. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I think that's a terrible way to structure society. But I do know people who find out I'm an anarchist and straight up.
Apparently my audio is a little bit quiet, and apparently yours is a tiny bit loud.
Is this, you can still hear me?
Yeah, I can still hear you. The others, I lowered it.
Can chat still hear me? I lowered my gain.
Yeah, I lowered it a little bit on my end too, but mine seems to be at the maximum volume. I'm going to try to see if I can find a way to raise it. I'm also going to move a little bit
Ayla
closer.
says we're good now.
Yeah.
So, or Ayla says I'm still good. Whatever.
Yeah. I moved a little bit closer just now, so that probably helps. I wasn't like super far from my mic, but there was a distance because I didn't want my face to be like super close up.
Yeah, so I don't know why, but for whatever reason the other day, 2 weeks ago, my gain has been this high from 2 weeks ago when I streamed with Zal. But he asked me to bump up my gain. So
well, my mic was already maximum. Like I tried to see if I could raise it just a little bit. I'm responding to a comment directly. In case it seems I'm gonna see if I can. Oh, I muted myself entirely for a second. I wasn't saying anything, so it was fine. But It's the exact opposite of what I wanted to do. All right, but yeah, this has definitely been a fun stream, and I would love for you to come back to my channel, but I actually have to get going for a little bit in like 5 or so minutes.
Yeah, that sounds great. I've had a lot of fun. We can debunk more capitalist, state-driven perspectives on politics next time you wanna hang out. That sounds.
I'm super happy that we were able to get you this communism for your birthday. I'll be mailing it to you via express mail or however that goes.
Yeah, how are you gonna communism your mail?
Is there a way that the mailing system is my Superman bang? Oh, I decided to look at the comments, and the comments were distracting me for a second. That's something that I'm low-key really bad at, because that happens in other streams too, especially on Wonder Lady's channel, where I'll be chatting with Wonder Lady and then I'll see a comment and it'll be like super distracting. It's almost like
let Ayla be the next one to lecture about economics. Apparently,
I would be super down for that. If Ayla wants to follow me on Twitter, that'd be awesome. If they don't already.
Yeah, I'll give her your handle.
Yeah. I really do like having people on my stream. I definitely prefer to do it via Google Hangouts, but I like to accommodate my guests however I can. This was a fun experiment with OBS. I'm going to figure out how to get better at OBS, so that way we can that way you and I can have more streams, and also that way I can do stuff using OBS, because I have a lot of friends who use OBS for like the recorded videos and for their live streams, and I know OBS is apparently handy. I just have no idea how to use it.
Yeah, it's like you said, I whined at you because proprietary software, and I'm a free software nerd.
Yeah.
But this allows us to be able to like actually be in a call, and me not to I don't know, be a horrible human being, which everyone else in this stream probably is. All y'all with your Windows is, and you're not, obscure, random, volunteer developed software.
Well, I don't know enough about technology, so I'm not using my ignorance I'm not using this as an excuse. I'm being real. Like, I'm gonna be like, look, if you're saying that I'm guilty of something, you're probably right.
I'm just teasing you.
I know, I'm well aware. Yeah. But yeah. So for those of us who are going to want to mail you your communisms, can you tell us how to get in contact with you? Or how to follow you on the social
what you want to do is you want to go to Portland and then just sit in the middle of town, and eventually you'll see me. I have red hair, I stand out, and then just hand me the communism, and I don't know, I'll give you a hug.
Well, okay, for those of you who want to hand you, for those of us who want to for those of us who want to hand you your communisms digitally, do you mind telling us where we can find you?
So if you want to send me some digital communism, you can follow me at Slightly Sluggy. That is how Jonathan met me IRL. But if you want to send me any communisms digitally, feel free to follow me on Twitter at Slightly Sluggy. And I am on Mastodon at Slightly Flighty1 at Vulpine VULPINE .club.
Well, I'm going to be digitally mailing you your communism pretty soon. Expect that in the digital mail. I don't know, email or something. But this has been a super fun stream. I am super glad that you were able to come on and that we were able to celebrate your birthday together with all of our digital friends. And peace out, pals.
Have a good one.
I'm gonna see how to end a stream on OBS. Let's see. There. Yeah.
So the stream's done?
Yeah, the stream's done.
Cool. I had a lot of